Hello, everyone. You are about to hear a brief retelling of the movie Norbit Tricks. Enjoy the movie. Norbit's life journey began when his parents threw him out of the car in the direction of an orphanage, combined with a restaurant called Golden Dumpling. He was nearly eaten by coyotes, but the infant was rescued by Mr. Wong, who laments that the baby is black. Also such a fear asshole. The Chinaman likes to play harpooner with the kids. Sitting at home, the sheep were split into pairs. Norbit got little Kate. They spent all their time together and one day decided to get married under an old oak tree. Afterward, they lived happily ever after. Until 2 weeks later, Kate was adopted, so Norbit was left without a mate. A few years passed and the boy was attacked by red-haired bullies in the sandbox. Suddenly they were both picked up and thrown aside by a big girl named Raspyusha. Immediately the girl boogey decided that the bespectacled boy would be her boyfriend and dragged him after her. With still, Raspyusha began to protect the kid and introduced him to her family. The three older brothers are named Big Jack, Blue, and Earl, and they adored the sissy and accepted Norbit as their own. The Lattimore brothers were engaged in robbery and racketeering. Over time, Norbit and Raspyusha became closer. After graduating from high school, the bespectacled man began to work as an accountant for the brothers in the construction company. The logical outcome of his relationship with Raspyusha was their wedding, but Norbit had a hard time deciding to kiss, even standing at the altar. Big Jack warned his brother-in-law that if he upset his sister, he would cut him up and pour lemon juice on him. Somebody ate a piece of wedding cake. Everyone denies involvement. There was almost a scandal when Mr. Wong took the floor. He doesn't understand why his pupil married a burner. But it's all jokes. The Chinaman tells a life story when little Norbit was bitten in the ass by a snake and he had to choose whether to let the boy die or suck the poison. Let him die, Mr. Wong decided. But the unbelievable happened. The poison did not kill Norbit because he is strong and able to withstand everything, even his wife. Raspyusha would have liked Norbit to carry her into the house, and the poor man puffed, but became exhausted and fell to the floor. The girl is very loving and loves role-playing, though after each night either the bed or Norbit's bones break. Raspyusha has a very bad temper, from her neighbors and Norbit himself. She even spreads her hands. The Lattimore brothers get to Mr. Wong and demand that he sell his restaurant, but he is not a timid man. Losing himself with an outstretched document, Wong grabs a harpoon and chases the bandits away. Raspyusha watches her figure and attends a tap class to lose weight, flirts with the trainer, and he asks that her brothers sponsor his video course and then he will give her a private lesson. Norbit's friends are former pimps and today their girls are not selling themselves, but fresh meat. That's what Rasputia's husband had sent her for. Norbit was going to stop by the orphanage, but he forgot his dolls at home, so he had to go back for them. And what he saw, his wife was tumbling in bed with Coach Buster. But he tries to convince Norbit that it's just a special exercise. If Norbit once again speaks of cheating, Raspyusha will knock his teeth out, but the man is not satisfied with all this and he calls his wife a whore and goes after Norbit in pursuit, demolishing all obstacles in his way. In the end, the cheater painted and stopped, and the cuckold threw the wedding ring in the trash can. At the orphanage, Norbit puts on a puppet show where the villain is a lazy pig taking everyone's food, but the manly man gets carried away and soon the pig in his story starts cheating on the goose with Coach Bast. Suddenly a now grown Kate walked into the Golden Dumpling and Norbit was overjoyed to see her. Kate has sold her business and now wants to buy the orphanage to fill in for the aging Mr. Wong. They both remember the tree under which they were married as children. Kate suggests to a friend that they have lunch on Tuesday. Lying next to his enormous wife, the Norbies think only of their future meeting with Kate. Buster shows up again. But Norbit does not mind. He has prepared for them a beer and fresh laundry. It's all nonsense. The main thing is that he will now meet Kate again. Only the girl came to dinner not alone, but with her fiancé, Dylan Hughes. He is a real estate salesman and must help Kate to buy a shelter. At night, frustrated Norbit is prevented from sleeping by a huge snoring carcass that keeps piling on top of him. Once the bitch decided to run over a neighbor's dog and chased her across the lawns and caught up with the poor animal. The dog ended up in the hospital, and for Norbit, it was the end of the line. He packed his bags to get away from Raspy, but she lied to him that she was pregnant. They went to Belly and Norbit stayed. Kate brings the orphans to the amusement park and Dylan convinces her that now is not the time to buy an orphanage. He leaves the girl alone and Norbit takes his place. Only now he admitted he was married and Kate's mouth dropped open when she saw Raspyusha sucking the jam out of the donuts. The ladies met when Kate stepped away. The Magiers threatened her husband not to even think of cheating on her with this scrawny one. Naive Norbit reprimands his wife for boozing without thinking about the baby's health. Meanwhile, the Latimer brothers have fun firing rifles at a human target. They own a construction company and Kate turns to them for future renovations to the orphanage. The Umbalas now plan to get hold of the golden dumpling with the help of a visiting girl. Meanwhile, the kids steal Raspy's hat. The fat lady traumatized the kids and ruined the attraction. She didn't like her husband having fun with Kate and nailed him with a piece of equipment. The doctor said if it wasn't for the stiff hair, Norbit would have been blown to bits. Kate came to check on him. The Laker brothers took a crack at Dylan, but he wanted to leave. He didn't need this orphanage. However, the bandits won't let him go so easily. They encourage Dylan to collude with them. They want to build a strip club on the site of the orphanage, so the deal to buy it must go through. And if he marries Kate, the property will be joint and he will sell the place to the gangsters. Kate offers Norbit a job at the orphanage and insists that tomorrow he and the kids go to the water park. In the evening, Dylan cooks Kate dinner and suggests they get married as soon as possible. Already this week, stealthily sneaking out of the house, Norbit failed and Raspyusha wanted to go to the water park with her husband. On the spot, she broke the turnstile, which was clearly not designed for visitors of that size. The woman tells Kate that she looks like hell. She knows she's skin and bones. Her Norbit likes exceptionally well-fed ladies, and he can't keep his hands off her at night. Kate tells her friend that she and Dylan are getting married this Saturday. The girl went down the high water slide, and to keep up with her, Raspyusha climbed on the ride. She ignored the safety rules and ran down the slide like an express train, flying out of a cannon and landing in the children's pool, completely draining it and almost killing a child. Kate again suggested to Norbit that they meet, so he dialed his wife to go on business while he learned to ride a bike under Kate's supervision. This is what he does every day and spends all his time with his girlfriend. Kate suggests they meet in the evening so he can help her plan the menu for the wedding banquet. She gets the idea that she and Dylan are in a hurry. At the beauty salon, she runs into Raspy and threatens the skinny girl to brush her feathers only for a man or she will be sorry. The Latimores summon Dylan to their house, needing Kate to sign the paperwork to renew the liquor license now. But the villain realizes that this will arouse suspicion and suggests slipping the document to Norbit to give it to Kate to sign. Prepare for a date. Norbit helped pimps. Friends have a great time in the restaurant. The man admits that sometimes he regrets marrying Raspyusha. In between, Kate signs the papers. Blue brought his sister 4 pizzas for dinner and she suspected something was wrong and forced him to confess that Norbit is now on a date with Kate. She immediately goes to deal with it, and husband and his fiancée go to the church. The priest offers the girl to rehearse her speech. She has trouble picking out the words. Then she is shown an example of Norbit and sincerely confesses his love to Kate, and then kisses her. Their kiss saw Raspyusha and upset and fainted. The woman was in a car accident instead of airbags, and it was her own breasts. Kate got upset and ran away, so when Raspyusha burst into the church with a tire iron, no one was there. Now Kate needed to deal with her feelings. Norbit handed the signed papers to the Latinaires. At home, his beloved wife was already waiting for him and began questioning him. Soon Norbit flew out of the window and hit his head. Doggy advised him to just bitch slap his wife. At the potato, Raspyusha showed him what would happen to Kate if he met her even one more time, which is to throw acid on her. In the morning, Dylan berates the brides about how she could sign the papers to renew the liquor license at the orphanage, because Latimore is going to turn it into a strip club. Kate arrives to deal with Norbit, but he's mindful of Raspyusha's threat and rudely chases the girl away. He supposedly doesn't care about her or the orphanage, all he wants is a beautiful wife. Kate cried and ran away. At night, Norbit wants to run away from home and leave town, but accidentally meets Mr. Wong. The old man admonishes him, "Black sure can run, but trouble runs faster." He reminds his pupil that he is strong as a warrior. Norbit received some important letter and was going to meet Kate urgently. But the Lattimore brothers prevented him. They told him about their devious plan to turn the orphanage into a strip club. The family locked Norbit in the basement. The next day they went to the wedding. Only Blue was left at home to look after Norbit. But the dummy got caught up in power stepping practice and missed the prisoner. That's when cycling came in handy. The rest of the Lattimore, they're gonna have to hold him off now. Mr. Wong asked the pimps to delay the ceremony, and they started talking nonsense, giving Norbit as much time as possible. Raspyusha and his brothers caught up with him. Norbit managed to escape from the groom's clutches and drove through the forest and fell into the pond. When the ceremony was about to continue, Norbit burst into the church and shouted that he was against it because it was a wedding scam. And he loves Kate, and he's not gonna be Raspy's jackass anymore. Norbit also says that Dylan is a wedding scammer and has already been divorced 4 times, and the main thing is that the wedding was necessary only to take away Kate's shelter. To make the girl believe him, Norbit invited all of Dylan's ex-wives and their children. The Lattimore brothers were about to take Norbit down, but the businessmen they'd been terrorizing all these years came to his rescue. Except that Raspyusha is not frightened by this. She shoveled the old men on the sides, and the Granny Flower Girl was thrown 10 meters away. It seems that no one will defeat her, but then a famous whale hunter, Mr. Wong, appeared and launched a harpoon right in her ass. The villagers chased after the Lattimores, and Kate kissed Norbit. Soon they were married, under the very same tree, and together they took up shelter. The Lattimores settled somewhere in Mexico and opened their strip club. The main star there was Raspyusha.